Good afternoon. We have actually Barty for you. Who's going to go first?
Ash, how's the arm now? Everything okay?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a really good couple of days. It was nice to stay off the court for a few days and started hitting again on Thursday. But, you know, as far as we're going, everything's kind of worked out well with monitoring our loads and all those kinds of things, so feeling good.
Hi, Ash, how does, now that you've had a couple of hits on the courts here at Orangi, how do they compare to Birmingham where you got your grass court tune-up last week?
Yeah, Orangi plays a little bit differently to the match courts, and I think each match court plays a little bit differently as well. So it's about trying to get used to them as best that I can, but it will also be an adjustment come my first round match is to trying to get used to the speed of the court, the bounce of the ball as quickly as possible, because it is a little bit different. It's a bit of an adjustment. Obviously, the courts at Orangi get a lot more play on them than the match courts, but it's been nice to hit on a few different courts, but they feel pretty good.
Serena Williams just said a few minutes ago that she thinks you could actually hold on to and cement this #1 ranking. How does it feel coming into the tournament as #1 and on Serena's comments?
Yeah, it's a new feeling for me. It's kind of something that I've never experienced before, and it hasn't really changed much, to be honest. We're still trying to go about all of our business, all of our preparations the same way. We know that what we've been doing has been working, and for us it's about trying to keep that normality as much as possible. And there's more attention, there's more of that outside noise, but from what we're trying to do on the court, it hasn't changed much. And we'll just keep trying to grow and be better every single day.
Bit of an off the beaten path question here, but if you could think back to your days playing cricket, just wondering if you could compare cricket fans and what spectators are like in that sport versus tennis fans and what spectators are like in tennis.
I think it depends where you are. Obviously here at Wimbledon they're a little bit different, but cricket in general is a very different sport. It's hard to take too many comparisons, but what I learnt in cricket has helped me immensely back into tennis. Nothing really directly that coincides, but certainly from all the experiences that I had in cricket, I've learned, and I've tried to take them into tennis as much as I could.
In terms of the fan atmosphere, what would you say is the biggest difference between the two?
Oh, it's a massive difference. Tennis, you're in a very intimate setting. The fans are a lot closer to, and on a cricket field they can be 80 or 90 metres away. Yeah, very different.
You played your first Grand Slam final in Paris, played beautifully. Then you had the chance to become #1. You played great again in Birmingham. So, how do you handle pressure? Does it come naturally, or do you have special technique to absorb the pressure?
No special secrets. I think for me it's just about trying to play the same way, the right way. I go out there and try and prepare as best that I can, and the only pressure is that I put on myself to make sure that I do everything correctly and prepare as best that I can to try and play a good tennis match and try and play well, to enjoy myself, and then regardless of whether I win or lose the match, I can walk off with a smile and know that I've done everything possible to try and do my best.
Just with your affinity for the surface and the grass season being so short, in the past, have you put more pressure on yourself playing at Wimbledon and what you expect from yourself playing at Wimbledon? And what do you feel like now that you're #1, you won Birmingham and going into this tournament? How do you play this as a normal event to the extent that you haven't in the past?
Yeah, it's impossible to play it as a normal event because Wimbledon isn't a normal event. It's, for us, in my opinion, one of the most incredible weeks on the calendar, and I try and come out here and enjoy it. It's a little bit bizarre coming into Wimbledon having only played one grass court tournament, but we feel like we've been striking the ball really well. We're comfortable with the grass under our feet, and now it's about coming out this week and trying to continue to do all the little things right, the simple things right, so that come my first round match, I can play as best that I can and try as best that I can, and then as I keep saying, it's regardless of a win or a loss, it's about trying to go about it the right way beforehand and then enjoying the match.
Sorry if you asked this at the very beginning, but when you look at the draw and you see the players that are in the top half, what are your thoughts?
I haven't looked at the draw, Craig. I mean, I've seen my first round opponent, and flicking through on social media, you see people that are in certain quarters, but I couldn't tell you where they are in any kind of direct way. But yeah, I haven't looked at the draw.
What's the biggest thing that you've learned about managing a Grand Slam tournament now that you've gone the full 7, you know, compared to when you were younger or even last year going through it? What are the big keys that you've learned what it takes to win a title like this?
I think even in Paris, it was a little bit of a bizarre slam. I mean, playing the quarter semi and final in back-to-back days is very unique. It probably hasn't happened very often. So I think I'm still learning. I mean, I got a little bit of a taste of it in doubles, having going through the 2 weeks a few times. But yeah, it's something that you just have to try and take in your stride and keep it very simple. On the days that you aren't playing, it's about relaxing and trying to practice some specifics. But overall, trying to stay as fresh as you can and staying in the moment and trying to enjoy it as much as you can.
Going back to the draw, what do you make of your first round match, and how do you prepare for Zheng?
Yeah, Saisai's got incredible abilities to match up to a grass court. I think she's done well here in the past, and she's got a good slice backhand, got the kick serve that will react well off the courts, and she loves playing on the grass courts. I think it's a tough first round match, and one that I know that I'll have to be ready for. But I think that's kind of the perfect start for me, is trying to make sure that I'm really switched on for that first round match and trying to do the best that I can.
Murray was just in here talking about how positive he thought it was that you've had this journey where you stepped away from the sport when you weren't enjoying it and come back, and sort of shows there's different ways to go about reaching your goals. And I'm curious if you've ever talked to any other players about that kind of decision and the sort of relatively unique timeline you've had in the sport, and especially now people are looking up to you as a success story even more.
Yeah, I think every single person is unique. Everyone has their own journey and paves their own path, and it's hard for me to really tell anyone they need a break, because it's their decision, it's their career. But it certainly worked for me. It was something that I needed to do, and now that we've come back and kind of had this fresh start, have gone about it our way, have made our own decisions, that's been the best thing that's ever happened for me. But I can't really sit here and tell people they need to have time off. It's their career and their decisions.
How much family have you got over here watching this year, and also have the requests for tickets gone up after what happened in Paris?
I have my team over here. My family are back home in Australia, and for us it's kind of a normal week. We'd planned that Mum and Dad were going to be over here in between the French at Wimbledon, but now they're back home looking after the puppies and having a good time. But yeah, I mean, for us it's my normal team that's around me, my team that's been with me over the last 3.5 years, and yeah, everything's really normal.
Friends and family ticket requests and things like that gone up or not?
Oh, not really. No, I think it's hard to request tickets when you're sitting back in Australia. But two of my girlfriends are coming over, and they'll come out and enjoy it. But other than that, all the same.
Any other questions? Yeah.
And Ash, just since you just got to #1 after Birmingham, what's kind of the reaction been amongst the players, kind of seeing you for the first time as a world #1 or even major champion? I don't know, are they razzing you, or are they giving you the business?
No, they're all being pretty cruisy, to be honest. I haven't seen too many of the girls. We've all kind of been in our own little worlds, crossing paths and practicing and preparing. But I've certainly had a really nice reception from a lot of the players. And it's nice to get that respect and that acknowledgement from your peers. But knowing that in a couple of days' time, that's all pushed aside, and we'll go and play hard.
You're #1 in the world and favourite to win Wimbledon. You seem to be a lot more focused on the process than on the final result. Have you taken the time to actually look back and savor what has been happening to you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm the favourite for Wimbledon. I think I need to try and get through this first round first and foremost. And obviously the process, like you said, what we've been going through has been working. So there's no need for me to change that. And I've enjoyed every single minute of that. And there have been some really tough times and some incredible times. But, we celebrated after the French Open. We celebrated after Birmingham. Nothing really gets out of hand, but it's important to celebrate the accolades and the milestones that you do reach. But for me, one of the best parts about playing tennis is that there's always another week to prepare for, to enjoy the competition and to prepare to play.
So you went to see Australia against England in cricket. How was that?
Oh, it's always good when Aussies speak the English, isn't it? But at the home of cricket at Lords, it was incredible, and the Australian cricket team were nice enough to invite us into the dressing rooms as well, which was a bucket list item. I think standing on the balcony at Lords was pretty incredible. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds easy.